Begley, the morning programme. We're into the last 20 minutes, for goodness sake. Where does time go? I'm Rowan Hand, and this is Danielle Begley, the Biodiversity Officer of Newry and Mourne District Council, shared with Down Council.
That's right, yeah.
Soon to be one.
Yes.
That's coming very in the near future. How are you?
I'm great. And yourself?
I'm grand.
You're I'm
cold.
staying back, yeah.
Yeah, stay back. It's, a colleague gave it to me yesterday in the cramped accommodation of my office. And
Lovely.
Not a good idea, but there you are. I think I'll go out and buy some of those masks that the Chinese wear. You know, on your ear, so that you don't have to breathe in all the gunge that's out there as you walk around, I tell you. But we're looking at a nice little council project happening at Burren, outside Warren Point.
We're planting some trees.
Warren Point is a place outside Burren.
Well, exactly. Let's talk about it like that. Yes, Burren.
I think Burren people would like that.
They would, yeah. So we're planting some native trees next week. In Burren, because this is National Tree Week.
Wow, yes.
Yeah.
What are the native trees that
we
you're
have
planting?
A lovely mix. We've got oak, we've got rowan.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not allowed to plant ash at the minute because of the ash dieback.
The mountain ash is the rowan, isn't it?
Rowan, yeah, it's beautiful with the berries on it.
Well, you would expect nothing less.
We have thorns, we've blackthorns and hawthorn, so all native, lovely native trees.
Yeah.
So we've got the pupils, the P5 pupils from Carrick Primary School are coming out to give us a hand next Wednesday morning.
And where will they be planted?
On Burren Green, which is just in front of their school there. So they're because it is just quite a grassy sort of area, so it's not overly exciting. So
but will it become a kind of a hedgerow, or will it become a mini copse?
Just a mini, just to make it a bit more exciting. So it's not all just grass.
And is it a place the trees will stay?
Yes, it will be, because and of course it'll improve the biodiversity. From my side of things, it's going to add more sort of diversity to the area as well. So it's not just all grass.
And from small acorns, big oaks grow.
Yeah.
Biodiversity includes the fauna that comes into the flora that you plant. But what would you expect in the short term from the investment in the trees?
Insects. Yeah, we'll start using them almost straight away. I'm sure whenever you attract insects, then you're going to attract other things like your birds. Yeah, and other mammals, hopefully. So it'll all be beneficial in years to come. So it's a great thing for children to do, especially. So the children are going to be planting these trees, and whenever they're old and grey, they'll be able to look out and say, I planted that. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I remember, and it's a lovely story, when we built our second school in Africa, in northwest Nigeria. One of the things we put in was an avenue of trees. They're just little shoots that we put in first of all, and there were edible things. I can't remember what it was. It was nuts or something. I can't remember. But we put it in, and it grew huge, and we have an avenue of trees. It's like something that you'd find in Kew Gardens now, but all planted by the children themselves across the world, doing exactly what you're doing in Burren.
It's a really easy thing to do, and it's a lovely thing. It's for the future as well, so it's great.
I saw somewhere in one of these fancy magazines a lovely Christmas gift, I thought. People had taken acorns and had grown the acorns, and then they had a Hessian bag. And they had soil in the Hessian bag with a drawstring on it. And the acorn and the shoot was coming out of the Hessian bag with 2 or 3 leaves on it. What a lovely present for Christmas.
That's fantastic. So you could just plant that straight in the ground then.
Absolutely. Yeah, not even taking it out of the bag, because it's biodegradable,
Yeah, lovely.
But what's the secret of growing? We talked an acorn there. I remember growing, and it worked all right. We grew them, and they grew strong and all the rest of it. It's very easy, isn't it?
Acorns are one of the oaks are one of the easiest, because it's literally just plunk your acorn in the soil and that's it. Other species like the rowan are a bit more difficult if you want to try and grow them yourself, because you have to sort of work with the berries a bit and mush them down, and there's a lot of sort of technique to that. Put them in sand and things. So the rowan or the oak are the easiest ones, the acorns.
The other thing that's remarkably easy to grow, and you could never stop them growing, sycamore.
Sycamore, yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately, sycamore aren't completely native, but at the end of the day, they're all still providing homes for wildlife.
They are, of course.
Yeah.
But why is native?
I know.
So exclusively important?
I know. Well, it's not exclusively. I think people are changing their mindset a bit now.
As long as it's not rhododendron.
As long as it's not our really scary invasive species, yes, like our Japanese knotweed and things like that. But I suppose just people assume that because whenever you're planting native species, you're providing more homes for our native wildlife.
Yeah.
You know, our native wildlife know how to use them, know how to get food from them. You know, if you plant something that maybe is not native, then maybe not.
It may not be the same fecundity.
But something like sycamore, it's been here so long now that
we'll adopt it.
We will.
And a sycamore will be acceptable.
We will.
It will indeed. The what about the Daisy Hill Wood? How's it these days?
It's not too bad, Ron. We haven't really done a lot in it recently. We've the council have created a management plan for it now, using EU funding as part of the Action for Biodiversity project. So we have a really huge document of obviously the main issues with it are the invasive species that are in it, and what we can do then in the future to try and manage it a bit better. But of course, it all comes down to money as well.
Of course, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the new trees that you'll be planting along the canal in the new public realm scheme, what kind of trees will they be? Maybe it's too soon to say.
I'm not sure, but I think it is another type of species of cherry because people were really upset to see the cherry cherry go.
But if the truth be told, the cherry, if you'd looked at them carefully, because of, I believe, neglect over the 30, 40 years, they were just planted and left. There was no husbandry done.
Exactly.
So they got even the things that they put on for the Christmas lights, the cable ties. So the trees grew into the cable ties.
It damaged them.
No one cared.
I know.
But now we have a chance to go forward.
Exactly, and hopefully we will. And I think they are thinking about planting a type or cherry species that will last longer, you know, longer longevity, and will still provide the lovely blossom that we had, you know, every springtime as well.
Yeah,
so.
and it's going to be very exciting.
It will be,
because it'll be lovely. I have visions of summertime, springtime, people sitting out with their picnic basket.
It will be
nice, having a nice, easy time there. That's all good. Red kites.
Red kites.
Are they soaring high in the morns?
They are. Well, not in the morns. Well, yeah, parts of the morns. People have seen them, I think, mostly around Hilltown. If you're heading towards Castlewellan direction, I know myself driving to Down Council in Downpatrick, I would see them quite regular.
Yes.
You wouldn't see them in the high morns now. They don't like high morns. They like the low drumlins and the low rolling hills.
Is that because of their hunting technique? They need to be low.
Well, they're not hunters. They're scavengers. Yeah. So that they need to be low down and see. For example, roadkill or other things maybe that have just died naturally or been knocked down or So they don't really hunt as such up in.
Really.
Yeah, and it would be too. It would up in the high morns. It's too cold. It's too it's too exposed for them.
I'm kind of losing respect for them because I felt they were like a scavenger. How can you love a
they're
scavenger?
They're actually big wusses. They're big for such large birds. Their feet are tiny. Their claws are tiny. They wouldn't be able to actually hunt anything, which is it's quite funny. Back years ago, people used to believe that they were killing their baby lambs or taking not at all. But they're amazing birds. It's fantastic to see them.
Did I ever tell you about my buzzard?
No.
I think I must have done. I've told everybody about my buzzard. I was going back down the Warren Point Road one day in the dual carriageway.
Right.
And there, standing sentinel in the middle of the carriageway, was this huge thing that looked like a turkey, looked like an angel from another universe, with its wings drooped down on either side.
Right.
And there it was. And I pulled the car in, and this thing was clearly at some problem. It was the size of a large turkey. And I thought to myself, now, what am I going to do here? So I parked the car, locked the car, took my jacket out of the car, and walked over towards the buzzard, as it turned out to be.
Yeah.
And I held the coat up, not making eye contact, so that I would capture it.
Yeah.
But I spooked it, and it went across the road. I eventually got it across the castle wall at the other side, wrapped it in the coat, and brought it back to the car, went to open the car door, and thought, oh God, the keys are in my jacket pocket. And my jacket pocket is inside, next to the talons and the beak of the buzzard.
Yeah.
So all of this happened, and I got it out eventually. I put him into an old cage I had up in the castle, and he was very, very, very quiet, very, very sedated. And he didn't. So I brought him to the vet, and the vet told me, yes, he said, blah blah, we'll keep him for a while. But the vet put him down.
Oh.
And I was talking to Jim Wells of the Raptor Group after that, and Jim said, you should have contacted me, because all that thing, it probably had ingested some poison, but kept in quiet darkness in a warm situation for 24 hours, it would have come back round again.
If it was poison, sometimes would freeze them from the inside out or something, doesn't it? It's quite, it's horrible.
That's the story of my buzzard.
There you go.
It was a lovely buzzard indeed. what about down? We know about the biodiversity of this part of the world.
Yeah.
We know less, I think, about the biodiversity of the down regime. The down regime being, of course, partly coastal.
Well, yes. Well, we're coastal as well,
Well,
Rowan. We have
Loch is hardly coastal,
oh,
is it?
yes. Yeah. And we have designated sites of European importance in Carlingford Loch. So
have we? Where is that?
Mill Bay.
That's for the Middle Bay for the geese.
Yeah. For the waders and the birds.
Yeah.
So we're very, very similar. We're extremely
really?
similar.
Yeah.
We have a lot of the same habitats, a lot of the same species. You know, we have very similar sort of landscapes, and we're both coastal.
Yeah.
So it's just an extension.
Where do swans go in the wintertime?
Where do swans go in the wintertime? Anywhere they want.
Somebody asked me. I would think so. Or if you're a buzzard, you go anywhere you want.
Anywhere
buzzard.
you want.
Or whatever you want to do, you do. Just don't eat me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't chase me.
They seem to disappear for a while. They go somewhere. I certainly know down around Balbriggan in Dublin, there's a huge flock of swans down there.
Are they the
and
whipper
then they move out
swans,
to other places. They're the common, I don't think they're whooper. What's the common swan?
Mute.
Mute swan. They're mute swans. Yeah, they are. And
sometimes they might just go inland for a bit of shelter.
Yeah, a wee bit of shelter, whatever, and then they're back out again. They start building their nests again. But we had a time, it was a lovely bit of biodiversity, and you would have loved it, where we had two creatures like large geese on the canal, one with a great bump on its head, and they were like a couple. They were there constantly. It was so romantic. It was lovely.
Aww.
And then one was killed by a creature.
Oh, no.
So the other one was on the canal for a long time, but it then began to think it was a swan. And the swans began to think that it was a swan.
Right.
And it went everywhere with the swans. And all that was
Do you
going
remember
on.
the black swan that we had?
It landed out at I saw it
in front of the Quays.
Yeah, in front of the Quays.
It was in front of the Quays as well. Yeah.
That would have come from Russia or somewhere. Where?
Well, I think somebody had it sort of, as just a bird in their own farm or their own. I think it was just an escape.
An escape.
Yeah. But originally they would come from.
Yeah. I remember once going down the road to St. John's Point.
Yeah.
In Ardglass, and I was driving along the road. My summer day, window of the car was open. I was driving along about 15 miles an hour, country road, very narrow country road, with the hedges almost bending in through the window. And I was aware of something. I looked, couldn't believe it. This tiny bird, the size of that size, my fist, like that, and it was clearly a hunter. And in his talons, he had a vole, or a mouse, a big mouse. And he was just in the frame of the window. I wonder what it was,
a kestrel maybe?
Maybe a kestrel, going along at exactly my speed. So I actually was witness in the driving to what seemed like 5 minutes, but probably was 5 seconds of the last moments of the life of this creature in the talons, But nature is cruel, isn't it?
It is, but it's all part of the circle of life.
That's your excuse. You facilitate it. Come on, you creatures, you go and kill each other.
No.
So you're looking forward to the change in the council when it comes?
Yes. I don't know exactly what that'll mean for everybody,
of course.
But we'll go with it and see what happens.
No choice, it'll be great.
Exactly.
Changes offers opportunity.
It does. Yeah, it does.
So when are you doing the thing at Burren?
Next Wednesday, the 11th.
At 11. So
and we've our mayor, the mayor coming out.
He'll be there.
He'll be there, and we'll make him plant a couple of trees as well.
Why not?
So
absolutely. That's about as permanent as politics will ever get. You can plant a tree and we'll remember you.
You said that.
That goes to everywhere. But that's the nature of politics, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, my big political campaign of next year is to try and get central government to start playing its full part in funding, properly funding, hospice.
Right.
Because that's what I want to try and do. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sorry for my cold.
You're all right.
You've survived it anyway.
I've survived it so far,
all I say to you is namaste. I won't come any closer. Namaste. And that's good. That's Danielle Begley. Go well, Danielle, and thank you for coming in. And we'll play you some music now.